Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. As tomorrow is Halloween, there is no better time for us to take a peek at NECA's Ben Cooper's Halloween Kids. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Alright, if you're like me and you were a child of the 80s, you more than likely wore one of these Ben Cooper classic Halloween costumes at some point in your life. The full body, one size fits all plastic prison that you would be encased in for an entire night would be ripped and torn by the end of the evening. It would cause you to sweat profusely, lose liters and liters of water throughout the night. The masks were extremely hard to see out of, breathe out of, and you would just be a hot, sweaty mess within a few blocks. But these things are just classic and iconic memories of when, you know, those of us who grew up in the 80s wore these things on Halloween night, and I absolutely love them. Now, I do believe that these are technically Wave 2. I believe Wave 1 is like really hard to find. It's still up on Big Bad Toy Store, which I have it pre-ordered, but I doubt seriously if it'll ever ship. I just don't think they're probably ever going to get them in. These were the ones that were released individually through Walmart and through myself and through some friends. I was able to track them all down. Now we have the next wave is already up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, and all of the licensed versions are starting to come out as well, with Gizmo and Beetlejuice and the Alien and, you know, a lot of licensed properties. I believe even some DC Universe versions were shown off at San Diego Comic-Con this year, if I'm not mistaken. But these are the ones that I have. These are ones that I have on my shelf that I've had for a while now. I haven't opened up and I haven't messed with them, so I don't know what happens with them. I don't know what they do. So we're going to take a look at each one. Basically, here we have... this is the Monster. I believe this is a Monster Boy. You can see that the package is the same for all of them. On the side, we have Monster figure with costume and mask, licensed by Ben Cooper. And same thing on that side. And then here we have the assortment where I believe, you know, some of these are like, this is all of Wave 1 right here. And then these are the ones that I have right here to take a look at. So let's get them opened up and see what they can do. All right, getting the Devil Boy opened up out of the package, I did want to show this little background. It's in the box. I think is beautiful. I love this old retro style art. I think it's just absolutely fantastic. And honestly, for those of us who are weirdos enough to smell our figures when we open them, it does have that very old school, like, Halloween costume smell. It smells of vinyl and plastic, and so I think that's pretty cool. So here are here is the figure itself. For those of you who are wondering, this guy stands 6 inches tall, so you know he's not going to scale with your 6-inch action figures. These I think will probably scale pretty well with Mezco's like their 8-inch figures or their larger like cloth figures. I think these would scale well with them. If you have an 8-inch scale diorama, I think that would work out pretty well. But just going over the figure itself, the mask is the star of the show. It is not removable. There is a sculpted band around the head. You can see the character's eyes very well underneath. Hopefully you guys can see that. My lighting is not the greatest. But the material here is much more durable than the actual costumes that we had when we were kids. because this is more of a like a pleathery style material. You can see that it is affixed to the back with a little piece of Velcro right there, and it is styled in that old school retro costume style with the short sleeves, the long pants, and then down below you have like little shoes and shoelaces sculpted on the figure itself. For articulation, let's see, the head seems to be on a ball joint and can only look down about that far, can look back that far, so not very far at all. You get a little bit of tilt. The arms can go well past the T pose all the way up to a Y pose. They can rotate all the way around. They have a upper bicep swivel. They have double jointed, although pinned, elbows. And then the hands are on a horizontal hinge and rotation. As far as the body, there is no, I don't feel any sort of, here, let's just look. It's like I don't feel a torso, but there is a torso joint. It just is not very, it just twists. There's no crunch. There's just rotation, which must mean there's no rotation at the waist, and there's not. The legs can go that far, all the way out to the side, and a pretty good range back. They also have, nope, single jointed. I thought we were going to get some double jointed knees, but we get single jointed knees. And then we do have forward facing pin and hinge down below. Each one of the figures does come with a way to carry their candy. In this case, we get this little cardboard, but at least it's glued and affixed together. It says trick or treat, happy Halloween. And of course he can, sort of, you want to be very careful you don't tear it up, but you can get him to hold his little trick or treat bag, like so. Next up, we have this very wicked little witch here. I think she is great, or, some sort of like little zombie queen, which I really appreciate. I dig this face mask. It is so dope. You have the little girl hair with like little pigtails. Same feeling material, of course, except for this time, instead of being individual legs, it's a skirt. So we can take a better look at the knees here, and we can see that they are just a single joint. The shoe sculpts are the same for every kid. They're just painted different. So that's the only difference there. And she comes with something a little bit better than a little baggie. She actually comes with that 80s style funny little jack-o'-lantern that every one of us had, probably still have in our garages, with a little hard plastic handle. It's not movable. And I absolutely love this. This looks so great. Let's go ahead and give this to her so she can hold it. And there you have it. There she is, ready to go trick-or-treating. Next up, we have the Phantom, which I think this guy's probably my favorite of the bunch. You can see it's the same head sculpt as the first, the Devil Boy that we looked at. Love his little tuxedo. It's got a little dagger, a bloody dagger in his pocket, dripping blood, and then a little chain that even says Phantom on like the pocket watch, and then a little skull necklace. Of course, we have the pants, and then nice little wash on the black and white sneakers. Dirty as any little boy's sneakers are going to be, dirty as can be. His little bag is this little trick or treat. It's got a little witch flying across the moon, and a castle, and a black cat, and a little pumpkin patch. Same as the first one that we saw. And then let's kind of get this in here hopefully without tearing it up. And there he is, looking pretty menacing. Next up, we have another little girl. We have the witch girl. I love this mask. I definitely remember seeing this mask when I was a kid on shelves. This is just absolutely adorable. I dig it. I love this little witch stirring her little cauldron, little skull, and all these little spiders. Now, unlike the vampire girl, there's no dress, but like pants, just like the boys. And then I love these sneakers. Probably my favorite of the bunch. These light baby blue and white sneakers look really cool. And sadly, she does not have a really cool bag. She, like many of us who had to carry around a little brown bag, a little grocery bag that Mom brought home from the supermarket to carry I remember doing this at least once as a kid, but no little handle. You just kind of like wedge it in there with her hand like that. And there she is, ready to go and cast a spell all over the neighborhood. And lastly, we have Vampire Boy. This one is also a little standout as well. I love this mask. It is so creepy. We have Dracula coming out of a coffin. We have a little bat up there with the red pants. And of course, the garnet and gold shoes there, which I appreciate. Those look really cool. I love the different skin tones on all of these characters. I love the diversity here. I think that's absolutely great. And this guy is very spooky. And he also comes with a plastic jack-o'-lantern with a, this handle is much easier to remove. It comes off pretty easy. And if you're thinking it's the same one with the vampire girl, it is not. It is much larger and much goofier. So kudos to them for giving us different sizes of pumpkins and not just throwing in the same one with each kid. And yeah, there it is. It's already rolling across the floor. But yeah, let's get this back on. I don't know why this one was so easy to pop on and off, whereas the other one barely moved at all. But there we have it. He is ready to bleed the neighborhood dry of candy on Halloween night. There we have it. There we have what I believe is wave 2 of the Ben Cooper Halloween Kids. The only ones I have, and they are phenomenal. I love them. Now, they do have peg holes on their feet, which is great because you will probably need a little plastic stand to put them on if you're an out-of-the-box collector and you want to display these on your shelf or in a diorama, because they do not stand very well. It took me quite a while to get these little guys' feet just perfect so they would stand long enough for me to record this little outro. But otherwise, they are fantastic. For me, they're going to go in the box and display on my shelf in the box, I believe, because I really love the aesthetic of these old boxes. They kind of bring back the aesthetic of the boxes that the costumes were sold in when we were kids and how we would store them from year to year, but never wear them again. We'd always buy whatever the new thing was. I'm so happy that they're going to be doing DC, because I think that's really great, because NECA has done DC figures before in the past. I would love, man, it would just do my heart good to see them get the Lucasfilm license. I would love to see old school Star Wars costumes on little kids in the future. That would be fantastic, and I'm sure NECA would love to get their hands on that license. That would be fantastic. Again, these guys come in that 6-inch range, so you know they're not really. The box says 5.5, but I measured them. They're a little bit closer to 6. And so, yeah, they're just not going to scale very well with your 6-inch scale figures. It's just not going to happen. But if you have any of the larger Mezco, like 8-inch style cloth figures, those retro style figures that look like Migos, these will probably scale very well with them. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I will see you in the streets collecting candy.